This is a story about how a single line of dialogue became a cultural phenomenon, and how the actor who delivered it became a legend in the process. I'm talking, of course, about Sergeant James Doakes and his iconic catchphrase. But here's the thing. Sergeant Doakes was only on the show Dexter for a very short time. He was a secondary character in a cast of complex villains and morally gray heroes, yet his legacy is arguably more famous than the show itself. So, how did Erik King, the man behind the badge, manage to create a character so impactful that he transcended the series and became a permanent fixture in internet culture? This is a deep dive into the actor who gave us one of TV's most memorable characters. To truly understand the legend of Sergeant Doakes, you have to go back to the man behind that unmistakable intensity, Erik King. Born and raised in Washington, D.C., King's path to becoming a respected character actor was set in motion early. He honed his craft at one of the country's most esteemed performing arts schools, the Duke Ellington School of the Arts, before continuing his studies at Towson University. From an early age, King was immersed in the world of discipline and public service. But it wasn't because of his acting. In a fascinating detail that adds a layer of depth to his most famous role, King has revealed that his own father was a police officer. This connection, this first-hand understanding of law enforcement, would later become the bedrock of the character that would change his life forever. But before he put on the famous gray suit, King spent years building his resume one powerful role at a time. King's path as an actor is uniquely tied to his family life. While his peers might have looked to other actors for inspiration, King found a muse in his own father. His father was a police officer, and King has spoken about how this first-hand experience with law enforcement shaped his career. King often drew on his father's professionalism and straight-laced demeanor to inform his characters. He wasn't just acting out a role, he was embodying the quiet intensity he saw growing up. This personal connection gave his performances, particularly as a police officer, a sense of authenticity that audiences immediately recognized. In fact, the influence of his father's profession didn't just stop with Sergeant Doakes. Throughout his career, King would frequently be cast in roles as cops and authority figures, from the TV series Missing Persons to a brief but memorable appearance in NYPD Blue. It was clear that King had a knack for playing these characters, a skill he refined long before he ever stepped onto the set of Dexter. Before he was known as Doakes, Erik King was a working actor steadily building a career. His true on-screen breakthrough came in the mid-90s with the police procedural Missing Persons. As investigator Bobby Davison, he had a significant recurring role, a serious and disciplined cop that would become a pattern in his work. It was his first major step into the kind of consistent, demanding television he'd later master. But perhaps his most impressive pre-Dexter role was on HBO's gritty prison drama, Us. King played Moses DeYell, a character who, in a world of moral ambiguity, acted as a kind of moral compass. Fans of the show often point to his character's tragic arc and quiet intensity as one of the series' most underrated performances. It was on shows like this that King truly began to showcase his immense talent for embodying characters who are both grounded in reality and yet larger than life. And it was this foundation, this consistent work and experience in dramatic television, that would prepare him for the role that would change everything. As Erik King's career gained momentum, he landed the role that would change everything, Sergeant James Doakes on Dexter. The character's purpose was to be the perfect foil for the title character. While everyone else on the Miami Metro Police Force saw Dexter Morgan as a quirky but harmless coworker, Doakes saw right through his act. He was the first to suspect Dexter was hiding a dark secret, and he relentlessly pursued the truth. This dynamic made Doakes an instant fan favorite. In a show built on moral ambiguity, Doakes was a human lie detector, a force of nature who challenged both Dexter and the audience's loyalty to him. Fans loved that he was a street-smart cop who operated on instinct, and his intense glare and a single word often spoke volumes. King's portrayal was so effective because it was built on a foundation of authenticity. As he's revealed in interviews, he based the character's no-nonsense attitude on his own father, a career police officer. King used that first-hand knowledge to craft a character who felt incredibly real, a man whose quiet professionalism and simmering intensity made him a truly formidable opponent. His work here was so powerful that, even as an antagonist, fans found themselves rooting for him. He was a hero in his own right, and his eventual fate became one of the most talked about moments in the series. In any great story, the hero is only as good as their villain. But with Dexter, the writers did something clever. They created a villain who was in his own way, a hero. Sergeant Doakes wasn't a serial killer, a psychopath, or a monster. He was a cop. A good cop. He was the perfect foil for Dexter Morgan. A foil, in narrative terms, is a character who contrasts with another to highlight their qualities. Doakes was everything Dexter wasn't: loud, confrontational, and deeply intuitive. Where Dexter meticulously hid his true self behind a calculated mask of normalcy, Doakes's presence was a constant, raw challenge. He didn't have proof, but his gut told him something was wrong. His famously intense glare and those iconic two words "freak" and "Morgan" became a shorthand for his suspicion. Doakes's relentless pursuit didn't just create tension, it forced Dexter to be more careful, more creative, and ultimately, more exposed. For the first time, Dexter wasn't just hiding from society, he was hiding from a single, dedicated person who was getting closer to the truth every single day. The character was so popular because he was the embodiment of justice, the one person in the entire series who was truly right about Dexter Morgan. And that truth, and the tragic price he paid for it, is what cemented his place in television history. You can't talk about Sergeant Doakes without talking about that line, the one that launched a million memes. In a pivotal moment of the series, Doakes corners Dexter at a shipping container. As Dexter is trapped and surprised, Doakes delivers the line with an intense and menacing expression.
Surprise, motherfucker!
Erik King himself has even said he had no idea the line would become so famous, proving that sometimes the greatest legacies are created completely by surprise. However, his legacy has been cemented by a different meme that's a little more nuanced. It's a meme that exploded on platforms like TikTok and Reddit, introducing the character to a new generation of fans, but you can't prove it. The meme captures the ongoing struggle Doakes has throughout the series. He is the only character who truly suspects that Dexter Morgan is a serial killer, but despite his intense suspicion and constant pursuit, he can never gather the concrete evidence needed to prove it to anyone else. The meme typically uses an image or video of a suspicious-looking Doakes with a caption that describes a situation where a person knows something is true but lacks the irrefutable proof to back it up. It has become a popular way to express a sense of knowing something with certainty while being unable to officially confirm it. This meme is so popular because it perfectly captures a universally relatable feeling, knowing something to be true in your bones, but lacking the definitive proof to back it up. Whether it's a conspiracy theory, a friend's suspicious behavior, or a silly hunch, the meme of Doakes's face with the caption instantly conveys that sense of helpless certainty. The fact that this meme re-emerged years after the show ended is a testament to the power of Erik King's performance. It's a perfect example of how a great character can live on in the digital world, forever immortalized in a single, powerful moment. While Erik King's time as Sergeant Doakes ended dramatically, his career was far from over. He continued to be a working actor, appearing in numerous television shows and films. He's had roles in high-profile shows like The Good Wife and Treem, and even appeared in the hit film National Treasure. He's a performer who works consistently, not for the fame, but for the love of the craft. And in an industry obsessed with celebrity, his approach to his life and career is a story in itself. For many actors, a breakout role like Sergeant Doakes can turn them into a full-blown celebrity. But Erik King has largely avoided that. He is known for being an incredibly private person, rarely engaging with social media or sharing details about his life outside of his work. In a world where fame and personal brands are intertwined, King stands out as an actor who lets his work speak for itself. He's not trying to be a public figure, he's focused on his craft. This private nature only adds to the mystique of his performance as Doakes, a character who was an enigma in his own right. King is a true professional, a master of his craft, who proves that a great performance can create a lasting legacy, all without needing to be in the spotlight.